All right, so today I want to teach the trenches about energy vampires, right? We all have energy vampires in our orbit, in our life, but sometimes we just call them shit like weirdos or like fuck niggas and shit like this. But it's different terms for these type of motherfuckers. You know, the scientific world might call them like bipolar or schizophrenic or some shit. You might call this motherfucker throw it off, a fucking goofy, of a fucking burnt out. But a lot of times they are like spiritually energy vampires. So we finna get into this shit. All right, okay, class. The first type of motherfucker, like that's an energy vampire. We're gonna go with the motherfucking victim, cause these are very common in today's society. Uh, yeah, we y'all know that motherfucker. There's never going to admit to anything wrong. Everything is just against them. Everybody, every place, every person, every entity, every layer of existence is just against them because everybody just hates them for no reason. They've never done nothing wrong to wrong anybody or to rub anybody the wrong way. They never said nothing that could be offensive. They've never been inconsiderate. They're just a victim in every situation that doesn't go their way, right? Right, and the reason why they're like this is because um, they don't have the energy themselves within themselves to take responsibility for their actions. So they just blame it on other people because they don't actually have any energy. And we'll talk about why later on once we get into like why energy vampires exist. But I will tell you that one main type that's very common is the victim, and they don't have their own energy to take accountability for their life. So next, the next one, uh, some people call it like the dramatizer. So this type of energy vampire is they thrive on chaos, constant chaos. They like to blow situations out of proportion, simply to be the center of attention and to like feed on that energy of people pouring energy into them. So these type of people, they don't care about positive or negative intention. All they care about is extracting the energy from other people, whether it's positive or negative, and they will do things like blow small situations out of proportion just to get that reaction out of you because they don't have their own energy to thrive on. So they set up situations for you to create moments for them to present themselves as later on, like I previously stated, the victim. They're gonna blow a situation out of proportion for you to engage in that same type of behavior, and then later on play the victim to get energy that they don't have from unsuspecting people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a full web of like vampirism and these type of people, right? So and these type of people are especially dangerous because they're not loyal to anything or anyone besides attention. For the same reason, like I said, they don't have their own energy. They have to feed off the energy of others. The reason why they don't have their own energy, we'll get to that later. But just remember, they don't have their own energy to flow from. So that's why these people are dangerous because they need a fucking host, like a demon. That's why we spiritually vampires, right? It's like they need a fucking host. They need to host on somebody else's energy. They need to pull from somebody else's energy in order to get anything going in their life because they don't have their own. All right, so these type of people is like we talking about the dramatizer, like it's a telltale sign. The dramatizer, they want to be center of attention. So these are people like motherfucking everybody knows Diddy, everybody knows like Kanye West. Like these aren't high level energy vampires. Like you know what I'm saying? Kanye, for example, when everybody was hating on Drake, and it was a move for him to get attention on himself, he joined that Drake hate party. He jumped on like that, uninvited. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Dot, I got you. Just for him later on to go against Kendrick because he would get more attention from going against Kendrick at this point in time, right? And then highlighted Drake because that would get him attention because going along with everybody else who's hating on Drake and celebrating Kendrick wouldn't get him any type of special attention. So this is what an energy vampire does. They're not loyal to anybody or anything. They're only loyal to getting attention on themselves at whatever cost. And these people are especially dangerous in really any situation. But especially like you as a person, if you're trying to build anything, keep the energy vampires away because they are not loyal. So energy vampires, they also like to criticize their host while like kind of stealing their personality. So these are like destiny swipers. You know what I'm saying? They will like demean everything that you do, talk down on everything that you do, all the while benefiting from your ideas, your structure, your resources, uh, but making it seem as if they're doing it on their own. It's all a fucking mirage. It's not the case. And you know, you could tell when like you could tell because you'd be like, damn, this motherfucker. I've been doing this. Now this motherfucker doing that. I know for a fact like, oh, they doing this based off some shit that I set in motion. But they'll never tell you that because they don't want the secret to be out that they don't have their own energy, right? They're using you as a host. So somebody is constantly copying like what you do, you like to the point you get like, damn, it's kind of damn near obvious. This motherfucker literally just copying everything I do. These motherfuckers stay taking your ideas but not giving you credit. That's an energy vampire. They don't have their own source of energy. Get the fuck away. You don't need them. They need you. Okay, the last two is kind of like they kind of go hand in hand. Like the emotional guilt tripper and like the drive-by trauma dumper. Like, so these people just like motherfucking. They just want to thrive off sympathy because they want to present themselves as like people who never do anything wrong. But if you're a human being and you're smart and you live life and you wise, my nigga, like you already know, everybody do shit wrong, right? So for motherfuckers always presenting themselves like, oh, I'm just so loving and caring and peaceful and shit, like that's like a damn near a sign like somebody that's just always saying that shit. If they was like truly peaceful and loving, like other people would say it for them. Like realistically, like they wouldn't have to say it. Other people would say it for them. Their energy would speak for them even before that. So if somebody is always saying that they're loving and kind and shit, but nobody else is kind of like validating this, they're a fucking energy vampire, right? If somebody is saying like this goes back to like the whole victim shit, right? They're always saying that, you know what I'm saying, they're kind and loving and peaceful and you just it's just like a common thing amongst like, you know, anyway, moving on. I'm not gonna say it, but like a lot of people like in the spiritual world community, especially like the women, like they're gonna present themselves as like loving beings and all this shit, but they have no heart for real. They really only care about getting whatever they desire in their mind, and that's it. So they'll present themselves as like, you know, like these just like, yeah, like I was saying, they'll present themselves as like these people that desire pity and something like trying to guilt trip people into like caring about them, which I can say I've done before. I've definitely tried to guilt trip people into like, but I feel like it was deserved, to be honest. I only guilt trip people that deserve to be guilt tripped, but like energy vampire, they're gonna try to guilt trip everybody. It's just like a homeless person on the street begging like, "Oh, you don't get me any money. What's wrong with you?" Like trying to guilt trip you. Yeah, that doesn't work because we have enough information to know that some of y'all is finessing. You know what I'm saying? So watch out for these energy vampires because they out here, man. But I'm finna show y'all why somebody or how someone becomes an energy vampire, right? Because I'm really about solutions, and I feel like nobody has to be stuck being an energy vampire. But like, okay, so energy vampire, like they become an energy vampire through like a bunch of different ways. It's like literally a lot of times unresolved trauma. You get what I'm saying? Unhealthy coping mechanisms, like you know what I'm saying. All this shit could build upon each other. Low self-esteem and like insecure like attachment styles. So yeah, because these people have never learned or have never faced uncomfortability of looking inwards and like really truly facing their demons, so to speak, their own demons and the problems that they cause in the world or the problems that they have received in the world and not really know how to process it and react to it, they become energy vampires because they never really process fully or healthy way of processing really anything. They don't process it right. Yeah. So I could say like to try to help people learn how to process things, man, because we all need help. So we don't really need more energy vampires. We need people with like a lot of energy to be kind of be self-sacrificial and like just teach and show people how not to become energy vampires. So yeah, this is first give. This is class today.